Hi everyone, welcome to the second video. So as you can see, we're not in Hoboken anymore. I'll talk more about where we are in the next video, but today I'll cover how we plan the trip and share some footage of our moving out day. So to talk about the options we considered for the next few months, those included staying in the apartment for another year, potentially buying a house or buying an RV, or buying a pickup truck and finding accommodation to travel around the States. With the logic that we'll still be working and studying remotely for the foreseeable, it didn't make sense to stay in Hoboken and keep paying the astronomical rent to be close to Midtown New York. And by the same logic, it didn't make sense to buy a house this year or even move to another apartment. Therefore, we decided to hit the road. We did consider getting an RV, but considering winter's coming up, it didn't seem very sensible to be amateur RVers during a North American winter. Also, apparently lots of other people had already had that idea, and even finding an RV was like gold dust. Early in the pandemic, we had already bought a medium-sized car when we realised we wouldn't want to be using Ubers, Lyfts or public transport. And then we realised that that kind of car would not be suitable for driving in snowy mountains, nor be able to carry us, the cats, plus suitcases and everything else we might need. So we exchanged that car and we got a pickup truck. So we've now got an F-150 and we've added brackets to it to be able to carry our bikes, skis and snowboard. And then in terms of accommodation, we still want to be physically distant from people as much as possible. So we're using Airbnb and searching for pet-friendly places along the route. So I wanted to talk about planning the trip and my famous task trackers and lists. I'm just using Google Docs and Google Sheets. So everything's online. I can access it from any device. I just have a simple layout of the item number, the name of the task, a summary, a status such as not started, in progress or done, a deadline and who is owning that action. For example, the first item is to plan the route across the country. So overall our route we hope will be starting in New York State, going to see Niagara Falls and then working our way along the northern states. So roughly from here to Cleveland, perhaps Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee. I really want to see Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. And then on the way to Seattle, we'd like to see a couple of the national parks, perhaps Yellowstone or Grand Teton. And then after Seattle, where we'll be for Thanksgiving, we think we'll travel a route via Portland and then get to Colorado for the ski season by mid-January. Other items on my list included figuring out what to do with all our stuff and furniture. We found a storage unit in Jersey City, so we did our last move out on our final day. So our final day of moving out was super busy, involving going to the unit, totally moving out of the apartment and then driving 5 hours to our first stop. Other things we needed to sort out before we left were redirecting the mail. We found a company called escapees.com and they do a mail forwarding service. So then what we needed to do was tell USPS, United States Postal Service, what our new address will be, and then Escapees will gather our mail and forward it on to us at whichever location we're at and we tell them where we're going to be. So that's working quite well at the moment, and I'll let you know how it goes. Other things we needed to do were all the normal moving out of the apartment chores, cancelling the utilities and internet, setting up sorting out insurances, sorting out other like parking permits, thinking about other places we might want to stop, and then also like just clearing out of the apartment the last day, getting things cleaned and everything finally into storage. I also have a separate itinerary, a separate inventory for where all our stuff is, and the boxes are labelled. So that's roughly how I planned the trip. I used a similar tool for planning the move from Asia to America, and I just found it absolutely essential to be able to remember everything that needs to be done, keep it under control and keep calm. The biggest potential showstopper on this list was a quirk of the American DMV system, where you have to wait for your permanent license plates to be sent to you by mail. Which usually takes about a month during normal times, let alone during COVID. So that was a bit of a nail biter, running right up into the last week. So I'm really glad we didn't have to use our backup plans for that one, which could have involved us starting our trip and then having to come back to get them. So I've also been teaching myself how to make some of these videos. I've set up this YouTube channel and I'm designing a logo. So I'm now going to try and show some footage of our last couple of days in Hoboken, a moving out day. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video where I'll show you what we've been doing at our first stop. Thanks.